Hello and welcome everyone. So we'll begin with a short meditation. Sit back comfortably. Withdraw your attention from the outside world and bring it to yourself. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, allow any tension or stress to melt away. Bring to mind the things you're grateful for. Allow yourself to feel the warmth and appreciation in your heart. Focusing on the senses, notice the sights, sounds, and sensations around you. Feel the gratitude in your body and allow it to spread throughout your being. As you continue to breathe deeply, expand your gratitude to include the people, experiences, and opportunities in your life. Feel the sense of abundance and joy that comes with gratitude. Repeat to yourself, I am grateful for the blessings in my life. I appreciate the beauty and goodness that surrounds me. Thank you so much. So, we'll begin with today's reading session. I'll just share the screen with you. Okay. So today we're going to start with chapter 4, PDF page 57, and the hard book is page 40. So this is chapter 4, Mental Healings in Ancient Times. Down through the ages, men of all nations have somehow instinctively believed that somewhere there resided a healing power which could restore to normal the functions and sensations of man's body. They believed that this strange power could be invoked under certain conditions and that the alleviation of human suffering would follow. This history of all nations presents testimony in support of this belief. In the early history of the world, the power of secretly influencing men for good or evil, including the healing of the sick, was said to be possessed by the priests and holy men of all nations. तो ये कह रहे हैं कि पहले जमाने में ऐसे होता था कि कई जैसे जो प्रीस्ट और जो होली लोग होते थे और वो सोचते थे उनमें वो पावर है, हील करने की जो पावर है वो उनमें है. Healing of the sick was supposed to be a power derived directly by them from God, and the procedures and processes of healing varied throughout the world. The healing processes took the form of supplications to God, attended by various ceremonies, such as the laying on of hands, incantations, the application of amulets, talismans, rings, relics, and images. तो पहले जमाने में यही सोचते थे कि जो प्रीस्ट्स हैं उनमें जो ये हीलिंग पावर है वो उनको डायरेक्टली गॉड से मिली है। और वो अलग अलग वेज में इसको करते थे। वो कुछ रिंग्स वगैरह दे के, कुछ कुछ बोल के, कुछ जाप वगैरह करके, अलग अलग चीजों से वो करते थे हीलिंग प्रोसेस। For example, in the religions of antiquity, priests in the ancient temples gave drugs to the patient and practiced hypnotic suggestions prior to the patient's sleep, telling him that God would visit him in his sleep and heal him. Many healings followed. Obviously, all this was the work of potent suggestions to the subconscious mind. तो पहले जमाने में जैसे जो जो प्रीस्ट्स होते थे टेम्पल्स में, वो क्या कहते थे, वो कुछ दवाई देते थे पेशेंट को और हिप्नोटाइज करते थे सोने से पहले। उनको ये सब चीजें बोलते थे और कहते थे कि ये हील करेगा उन्हें। तो एक्चुअली क्या ही करते थे कि वो उनके सबकॉन्शियस माइंड को, जब कॉन्शियस माइंड रेस्ट पे होता था, उस सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में ही ये सारे एफर्मेशंस और हीलिंग एफर्मेशंस बोलते थे, ताकि वो सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में बिफोर स्लीपिंग जाते थे एंड दैट वुड हेल्प देम हील। तो एक्चुअली होता यही था कि सबकॉन्शियस माइंड को ही पॉजिटिव एफर्मेशंस दिए जाते थे, बट उस टाइम इतनी अवेयरनेस नहीं थी। तो पीपल यूज टू थिंक कि ये जो प्रीस्ट्स हैं उनमें ये स्पेशल पावर्स है ये सब हीलिंग करने की। After the performance of certain mysterious rites, the devotee of Hecate would see the goddess during sleep, provided that before going to sleep they had prayed to her according to weird and fantastic instructions. They were told to mix lizards with resin, frankincense, and myrrh, and pound all this together in the open air under the crescent moon. Healings were reported in many cases following this grotesque procedure. It is obvious that these procedures, as mentioned in the illustrations given, favored suggestion and acceptance by the subconscious mind of these people by making a powerful appeal to their imagination. Actually, in all these healings, the subconscious mind of the subject was the healer. तो ये सब जो ये जो जैसे मंत्र पढ़ते थे और अलग अलग चीजें करते थे हीलिंग के लिए, बट एक्चुअली हो क्या रहा था, वो सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में ही ये पावरफुल बिलीफ यू नो सीप इन कर रहे थे, फीड कर रहे थे सबकॉन्शियस माइंड को ही। So the subconscious mind was the healer, not any of the procedures that they were doing. In all ages, unofficial healers have obtained remarkable results in cases where authorized medical skill has failed. This gives cause for thought. How do these healers in all parts of the world affect their cures? The answer to all these healings is due to the blind belief of the sick person, which released the healing power resident in his subconscious mind. तो एक्चुअल में क्या हो रहा है, क्यों ये सब जो ये अनऑफिशियल हीलर्स है, जब मेडिकली कोई हील नहीं हो पाता, तब ये लोग ये सब इन हीलर्स के पास जाते हैं। और वो क्यों हील करते हैं? क्योंकि होता यही है कि जो भी बीमार है उसको ब्लाइंड बिलीफ होता है, ब्लाइंड ट्रस्ट होता है हीलर पे कि ही विल हील मी। तो वही जो ब्लाइंड बिलीफ है वो उनके सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में बैठ जाती है। So at the end of the day, the healing is actually happening from the subconscious mind. It is because of the belief they have in the healer that is what is making them heal. उसके वजह से वो heal हो रहे हैं। तो बिलीफ उन्होंने कहाँ फीड किया? अपने सबकॉन्शियस माइंड। Many of the remedies and methods employed were rather strange and fantastic, which fired the imagination of the patients, causing an aroused emotional state. This state of mind facilitated the suggestion of health and was accepted both by the conscious and subconscious mind of the sick. This will be elaborated on further in the next chapter. Biblical accounts on the use of the subconscious power. What things soever ye desire, when we pray, believe that we receive them, and we shall have them. Whatsoever you desire, when you pray, believe that you receive them, you shall have them. तो जो भी आप डिजायर करते हो, जब आप उसमें उसकी आपको बिलीफ है, जब आप प्रे करते हो, आपकी बिलीफ है कि वो आपको मिलेगा, then you will get it. Note the difference in tenses. The inspired writer tells us to believe and accept as true the fact that our desire has already been accomplished and fulfilled, that it is already completed, and that its realization will follow as a thing in the future. तो क्या कह रहे हैं जो जिन्होंने भी ये लिखा है, ये हमें यही बता रहे हैं कि हमें वो बिलीव और एक्सेप्ट करना है कि जो भी हम डिजायर कर रहे हैं वो ऑलरेडी हो चुका है, वो हमारे साथ हो चुका है, एंड उसकी बस रियलाइजेशन और वो होना है फ्यूचर में. The success of this technique depends on the confident conviction that the thought, the idea, the picture is already a fact in mind. In order for anything to have substance in the realm of mind, it must be thought of as actually existing there. तो ये कब कब सक्सेसफुल होगा? जितना हमें इस बात पे बिलीफ और कॉन्फिडेंस है, जो भी हमारे माइंड में थॉट, जो भी पिक्चर, जो भी थॉट है हमारे माइंड में, जितना हमें उसमें कॉन्फिडेंस है और बिलीफ है कि ये होना ही है, that will actually make it happen. Here, in a few cryptic words, is a concise and specific direction for making use of the creative power of thought by impressing upon the subconscious the particular thing which you desire. Your thought, idea, plan, or purpose is a real on its own plane as your hand or your heart. In following the biblical technique, you completely eliminate from your mind all consideration of conditions, circumstances, or anything which might imply adverse contingency. You are planting a seed in the mind, which, if you leave it undisturbed, it will infallibly germinate into external fruition. तो जब आप में ये पूरा मतलब जब आप कोई चीज अपने माइंड में फीड करते हो अपने कॉन्शियस माइंड में कि दिस इज व्हाट आई वांट, और जब आप उसके आसपास कुछ भी और आपकी नेगेटिव थिंकिंग नहीं है, जब आपका 100% उसमें कॉन्फिडेंस है, बिलीफ है, फेथ है, देन यू आर एक्चुअली planting a seed into your subconscious mind, and that will actually be fruitful. The prime condition which Jesus insisted upon was faith. Over and over again, you read in the Bible, according to your faith, is it done unto you? If you plant certain type of seeds in the ground, you have faith they will grow after their kind. This is the way of faith and trusting the law of growth and agriculture. You know that the seeds will come forth after their kind. Faith, as mentioned in the Bible, is a way of thinking, an attitude of mind, and inner certitude, knowing that the idea you fully accept in your conscious mind will be embodied in your subconscious mind and made manifest. तो faith, यहाँ पे faith की definition क्या है? It's a way of thinking, मतलब जो हमारी thinking है, जो हमारे हम माइंड को ऐसा कंडीशन करें कि जो भी हम उससे फीड करें वो फुली एक्सेप्ट करे, उस बात को फुली एक्सेप्ट करे और अपने सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में वो बात डीपली फीड हो जाए, फिर वो उसको मैनिफेस्ट उसकी मैनिफेस्टेशन होगी। सो दैट इज व्हाट फेथ इज। तो जैसे उन्होंने एग्जाम्पल दिया कि हम जो भी सीड्स प्लांट करते हैं, हमें वो फेथ है कि दैट विल ग्रो आफ्टर इट्स, यू नो when we water it, and the way the seed is, it will grow come after, how whatever kind of seed it is. So in the same way, the thoughts are our seeds. तो जो seeds हम read करेंगे, that is what will get feeded into our subconscious mind, and that is what will manifest. Faith is, in a sense, accepting as true what your reason and senses deny, i.e., a shutting out of the little, rational, analytical conscious mind, and embracing an attitude of complete reliance on the inner power of your subconscious mind. तो फेथ क्या है? फेथ एक्चुअली वो एक्सेप्ट करना है जो कई बार हमारा माइंड जो है रैशनल थिंकिंग से एनालाइज करने की वजह से ना रिजेक्ट करता है। क्योंकि हमारा जो रीजनिंग माइंड है, कॉन्शियस माइंड है, वो बहुत सारे एनालाइज करता है चीजें, रिजेक्ट कर देता है। बट फेथ इज व्हेन वी स्टार्ट एक्सेप्टिंग दैट थिंग, नो, एंड एम्ब्रेसिंग इट। वो जब हमारा एटीट्यूड हो जाएगा ना कि हम अपने इनर पावर को बिलीव करेंगे, हमें फेथ होगा अपने आप पे, हमारे इनर बिलीफ पे, हमारे पावर्स पे, that is when the power of our subconscious mind will come into play, and it will start manifesting whatever we believe in. A classical instance of Bible technique is recorded in Matthew 9:28 to 30. And when he was come into the house, the blind men came to him. And Jesus saith unto them, Believe you that I am able to do this? They said unto him, Yea, Lord. Then touched he their eyes, saying, According to your faith, be it unto you. And their eyes were opened, and Jesus straitly charged them, saying, See that no man know it. In the word, in the words, according to your faith, be it unto you, you can see that Jesus was actually appealing to the cooperation of the subconscious mind of the blind men. Their faith was their great expectancy, their inner feeling, their inner conviction that something miraculous would happen and that their prayer would be answered. And it was. This is the time-honored technique of healing, utilized alike by all healing groups throughout the world, regardless of religious affiliation. तो जब जीसस ने ये वर्ड्स कहे कि अकॉर्डिंग टू योर फेथ इट विल बी अनटू यू, मतलब जैसे जो भी आपके अंदर बिलीफ है, 100% आपका जिस चीज पे फेथ है वो आपको मिलना ही है, वो मैनिफेस्ट होगा ही। तो वो फेथ क्या क्या है? वो अपने अंदर की ही सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में उस बात को डीपली सिंक इन करवा रहे थे कि जो आपकी बिलीफ है आप उसको डीपली, आपका 100% उसमें फेथ है कि वो होना ही है, दैट इज गोइंग टू हैपन। सो दिस इज व्हाट इज डन इन ऑल द हीलिंग ग्रुप्स, दे आर एक्चुअली, वो उनका उसमें वही रोल है कि वो एक्चुअली आपके सबकॉन्शियस माइंड को अवेकन कर रहे हैं, सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में वो रियलाइजेशन जगा रहे हैं उसको, कॉन्शियस माइंड को थोड़ा सा दबा के सबकॉन्शियस माइंड से वो आपके सारे मैनिफेस्टेशंस रियलिटी में ला रहे बाय जस्ट फीडिंग दिस पॉजिटिव affirmations to your subconscious mind. In the words, see that no man know it, Jesus enjoins the newly healed patients not to discuss their healing because they might be subjected to the skeptical and derogatory criticisms of the unbelieving. This might tend to undo the benefits they had received at the hand of Jesus by depositing thoughts of fear, doubt, and anxiety in the subconscious mind. For with authority and power, he commanded the unclean spirits, and they came out. When the sick came to Jesus to be healed, they were healed by their faith together with his faith and understanding of the healing power of the subconscious mind. तो जब कोई बीमार जाता था जीसस के पास हीलिंग के लिए, तो कैसे हील होते थे? एक तो उनका उन पर जो फेथ था, जीसस पे जो फेथ था, अलोंग विद दैट द फेथ एंड अंडरस्टैंडिंग अपने खुद के सबकॉन्शियस में, इट वाज एक्चुअली द फेथ ऑफ देयर ओन हीलिंग पावर। वो सबको जीसस क्या करते थे? उसको खाली अवेकन करते थे, उनके सबकॉन्शियस माइंड को। Whatever he decreed, he felt inwardly to be true. He and the people needing help were in the one universal subjective mind, and his silent inner knowing and conviction of the healing power changed the negative, destructive patterns in the patient's subconscious. तो जो भी वो बिलीव करते थे, ही न्यू अंदर से उनको 100% ये बिलीव थी कि वो ट्रू है, और वो एक ही जो जिनको भी हेल्प चाहिए थी, उनका एक ही यूनिवर्सल सब्जेक्टिव माइंड था। और जीसस क्या करते थे? वही जो नेगेटिव उनके अंदर पैटर्न्स थे, उनको ही वो पॉजिटिव में चेंज करते थे। The resultant healings were the automatic response to the internal change. His command was his appeal to the subconscious mind of the patient, plus his awareness, feeling, and absolute trust in the response of the subconscious mind to the words which he spoke with authority. तो उनको 100% फेथ था सबके सबकॉन्शियस माइंड्स पे कि जो भी वो विद कन्विक्शन, विद 100% फेथ बोलेंगे अथॉरिटी के साथ, दैट इज व्हाट देयर सबकॉन्शियस माइंड विल एक्सेप्ट। Miracles at various shrines throughout the world. It is an established fact that cures have taken place at various shrines throughout the world, such as in Japan, India, Europe, and America. I have visited several of the famous shrines in Japan. At the world famous shrine called Diabutsu is a gigantic divinity of bronze where Buddha is seated with folded hands and the head is inclined in an attitude of profound contemplative ecstasy. It is 42 feet in height and is called the Great Buddha. Here I saw young and old making offerings at its feet. Money, fruit, rice, and oranges were offered. Candles were lit, incense was burned, and prayers of repetition recited. The guide explained the chant of a young girl as she murmured a prayer, bowed low, and placed 2 oranges as an offer. She also lit a candle. He said she had lost her voice and it was restored at the shrine. She was thanking Buddha for restoring her voice. She had the simple faith that Buddha would give her back her singing voice if she followed a certain ritual, fasted, and made certain offerings. तो उसको क्या फेथ था कि उसकी वॉइस वापस आ जाएगी अगर वो ये रिचुअल परफॉर्म करेगी, फास्ट करेगी और कुछ ऑफर करेगी बुद्धा को। तो उसको ये फर्म बिलीफ थी। All this helped to kindle faith and acceptance, resulting in a conditioning of her mind to the point of belief. Her subconscious mind responded to her belief. तो ये जो था ये उसको बिलीव थी कि अगर वो ऑफर करेगी बुद्धा को और फास्ट करेगी, ये सब चीजें करने से उसकी वॉइस वापस आ जाए। तो उसको ये 100% फेथ था इस बात पे। तो उसने अपने सबकॉन्शियस में यही बात फील की, और फिर सबकॉन्शियस ने वही मैनिफेस्ट किया व्हाट हर बिलीफ एंड फेथ वाज। To illustrate further the power of imagination and blind belief, I will relate the case of a relative of mine who had tuberculosis. His lungs were badly diseased. His son decided to heal his father. He came home to Perth, Western Australia, where his father lived, and he said to him that he had met a monk who had returned from one of the healing shrines in Europe. This monk sold him a piece of the true cross. He said that he gave the monk the equivalent of $500 for it. This young man had actually picked up a splinter of wood from the sidewalk, went to the jeweler's, and had it set in a ring so that it looked real. He told his father that many were healed just by touching the ring or the cross. He inflamed and fired his father's imagination to the point that the old gentleman snatched the ring from him, placed it over his chest, prayed silently, and went to sleep. In the morning, he was healed. All the clinic's tests proved negative. तो उसने एक्चुअली क्या किया, उसने उसको एक रिंग दिया, नो बट वो रिंग एक्चुअली क्या थी, वो खाली उसने एक वुड उठाया था और ज्वेलर से जाके उसने रिंग बना ली और वो रियल लग रही थी। बट उसने उसमें वो फर्म बिलीफ डाल दी कि इफ यू प्लेस दिस रिंग ओवर योर चेस्ट एवरीथिंग विल गेट सॉर्टेड आउट एंड यू विल बी वेल अगेन। तो फिर क्योंकि उसको ये फर्म बिलीफ और फेथ हो गया उस रिंग पे, दैट वाज द रीजन व्हाई ही गॉट हील्ड। क्योंकि अपने सबकॉन्शियस माइंड में ये फर्म बिलीफ और फेथ फीड किया कि दिस रिंग is going to cure me, so that is why it cured. Of course, it was not the splinter of wood from the sidewalk that healed him. It was his imagination aroused to an intense degree, plus the confident expectancy of a perfect healing. Imagination was joined to faith or subjective feeling, and the union of the two brought back a healing. The father never learned of the trick that had been played upon him. If he had, he probably would have had a relapse. He remained completely cured and passed away 15 years later at the age of 89. So it was the subconscious mind that, जो बात उसने subconscious mind में feed की, that is what healed him. It was not that, that ring which was made up out of some wood. So I think we'll continue from this tomorrow, one universal healing principle. So we'll end the session here today. So thank you so much for joining today's session. We'll see you again tomorrow. Thank you.